Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on my snow. I'm going to walk you through this. It's a top-down texture and you can find a link to the tutorial down below in Patreon. And I'm going to start off with a tile size of 32 by 32, which is step 1. Pick your preferred tile size. And a little bit different today, I'm going to be using a pad and pen rather than the mouse because it's already out on the desk because I'm doing some study on anatomy and other digital art and painting. So this will be a bit of a different experience. I'm used to using a mouse for this kind of stuff. So step 1, start with your preferred tile size, just fill that in, and step 2, moving on, is differ the whole tile with a subtle shade. So I basically want to come down here and drop this. I'm going to drop it by 5. I don't normally have a perfect white, but I'm just going to try this out. There we go. You got to keep in mind with this that I just need to zoom in. Yeah, keep in mind that with this, different monitors have different brightness. So if you want everyone to be able to see the subtle differences, you're gonna have to make it quite visible. Whereas people that have the capability to see the subtle differences and the ones that don't are gonna see something slightly different. Myself, on one monitor, I can see a real subtle difference and it looks very good and very real. On the other monitor, I cannot see anything at all. But when I use a shade, about 5% difference in value, we normally can normally see it on both monitors. Do that one round. I didn't even look for a differing trick. The differing options in Aseprite just looked well, it didn't differ the whole thing like this. It only differs like half of it and then breaks off, which is a bit of a shame. There should be like a checkered fill, which would be good. Okay, so just finish this off and whoop-de-doo. There we go, it's all differed. Right, now you take onto, let's move on to step 3. With the lighter shade, paint a few areas. So now you take the lighter shade and you're basically connecting a few dots by blotching it up a little bit. Think of where the light is coming. I'm going to say it's coming like down this way, maybe from the horizon or something, I don't know, but light's hitting this direction, so just a slight curve in some areas. Now, the more you fill this up with the lighter shade, the deeper the snow will become. If you think of this differed checkered area as extremely lightly settled snow, then the white areas are where it starts to thicken up. You just paint a few in like so. This is actually a little easier with the pen, this part at least. Nice and easy. That looks a bit rude. Nope. We're not going rude. That looks a bit like a a plane, like a stealth fighter or something. I don't know. Making shapes. Way. Okay, if you look at the preview now, you can see how it's bubbling up a bit. You've got like mounds of snow, which is, it's a nice effect for like a rough, you know, it's been walked on and it's carried on snowing and it's filling gaps in and stuff. That's really good. We like that. If you wanted to go with a more settled snow where it's not as interrupted, you can pretty much just fill the whole thing in, leaving a few very few checkered spots. And it'll start to look a lot more settled and a lot more like it's not being touched. You could just have a full white tile if you really want, but I always feel that it's good to have a little bit of life in there, depending on where you're going to be putting this tile, I guess. But I really do like the went a bit too far back there. There we go. I really like that effect. Now an optional part, which is step 5. I didn't say this is optional, but it is really. It depends on a lot of things, but mainly preference. Number 5, step 5 is step 4. Step 4, give that some shadow with the other shade. So instead of the light shade, you take the darker shade and you do the same thing just behind it and give it a little bit of shadow. Not too much, don't make it too thick because it looks a bit silly. You can give the mounds a little bit of shadow. You don't have to give them all shadow, just 1 or 2, and you have a nice layered snow effect now. The next step was to just add variation to tiles. I mean, if you was going to tile this on a really big scale, it'd work, it'd look good, but it's always nice to have some variation. Maybe you want areas that are just, you know, snow that hasn't been touched. Maybe you want areas that have like footsteps, I don't know, there's a little footsteps in like so. Light on this side, light on that side, and then you'd checker it again this side, and then you'd have another foot over here. And so on, and then you'd have like footsteps going through. I don't know. There's, well, footsteps, footprints. There's a lot of variations you can add, but that's the basics of a really easy snow tile aimed solely at beginners. You can go a lot more advanced with this. You can shift hues, you can make the shadows blue and colder. Yes, you can. You can go up to about 220, and you could go as subtle as you like, 5, 6, and you can just fill those shadows in when you find a key binding for it. And it actually works. What did I... There we go. That's better. Fill! There we go. Yeah, blue. And you can even add some 50, 60, 55. I don't know. Some yellow. This is normally why I don't go bright white, because the yellow is hard to see, so I take the white down normally. And then I could use a brighter colour, white or anything, just for some highlights. There's many things you can do, but just follow my little technique first. and keep it simple, and you can practice from there. You can use references. References are always good, and just play with it. But yeah, that's the end of that tutorial. Nice, simple, easy tutorial on snow, and I hope you enjoyed my texture series. Next week I'm going to be moving on to another genre. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to be doing yet, but I think maybe something with animation. I am not totally sure. If you have any suggestions at all, just throw them in the comments below and I'll look into it. Remember, all my stuff is aimed at beginners, so we want to keep it simple and towards the people that are just starting out rather than the people that already know what they're doing and looking for advanced techniques. Okay, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you for supporting me and subscribing on YouTube. Thank you to all my patrons. You guys are great. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.